Alright guys, this is William Myers from Mantis Outdoors. Today we're going to be doing a video about conserving your resources as far as fire goes. Be right back. Alright guys, so what you're staring at right now is pretty much the contents of my haversack as far as fire goes. You know, it's one of the more things that I carry is definitely fire. Is because sometimes I want to practice my skills with primitive methods, and sometimes I just want to get damn fire going as quick as possible. So those are some of the things that I carry. And one of the points that I wanted to make was, you know, ferro rods and flint and steel and things like that, they're really great. But, you know, if you want to conserve your resources, every time that I strike this, you know, I'm taking a strike away from myself. You know, I'm eventually going to strike this so much that it's going to snap. I just won't have that anymore. Or a lighter. Every time I light this lighter, you know, that's one less light that I have. You know, and I think about those things when I'm in the field. So I will choose things that kind of go-to things that won't exactly take resources away. And a Fresnel lens or magnifying glass is definitely one of those things. And if I have the opportunity to start my fire with a magnifying glass, i.e. if the sun's not out or anything like that, then I guess it's just not going to happen. But I'll go to this first because I'm not using any resources at that point. You know, and if I choose my tinder correctly, or my tinder bundle correctly, then I'm not going to be using any resources, not char cloth, not chaga, not anything like that I carried into the woods. And then my setup is just going to take me that much further. You know, sometimes I spend a week, week and a half, 2 weeks sometimes out, as long as I can sometimes when I have the time off of my other job and things like that. So I want to make my kit stretch as long as I can, and I want to come home with 90% of this. That would be great. You know, that's just kind of how my mentality is when I'm in the field. So, you know, a fire piston is one of those implements as well. I can char material like cattail and the pith from a mullein stalk, and I can use this to create my fires without, you know, using the materials that I brought with me. And that, like I said, that makes my kit stretch out even further. My deal with fire pistons is that I find them not to be too reliable. I just did a video on Chris's channel, Prepared Mind 101, you know, and I said a couple times that if the seals go out in these things, then you're pretty much just screwed at that point, and you're not getting a fire with a fire piston. But, you know, they are pretty nice to carry with you to some extent. You know, if anything, it is a pretty cool trick to show somebody how to light a fire with using nothing but air primarily. But other than that, you know, I'll carry one of these, and I got this off of a buddy of mine, and you know, it's just got I'm not sure exactly what that is in there, but it's got something poured in there to make it fire resistant, friction resistant, and that's just a bearing block for a bow drill set. You know, and that's just one thing that I don't have to make when I'm in the field, when I'm making a primitive set. And when I say primitive set, I'm not talking about you know, using cordage or anything like that. When I say primitive set, I'm talking about making cordage from the wilderness. If I was saying just friction fire, then I would use like paracord or you know, bank line or something like that. But anyway, tangent over. You know, I definitely like multi-use items, and this item is one of those things that just, you know, has a multitude of items. It's a flint and steel set, and it's also a blanket pin, and I use this quite a bit as a blanket pin, but I keep it in my fire kit, one, so I know where it is, and like I said too, it's a flint striker fire steel. You know, these are ferro rods. This is a fire steel. You know, I see a lot of, oh, give me that fire steel, and I'll hand somebody this, and I'm like, no, I mean that. This is a ferro rod, and this is a fire steel. But, you know, it's an all. I've actually poked holes through leather to sew up leather with these. You know, there's a lot of uses in this, and that's one of the things that I think about when I'm packing, you know, my kit, whether it be a fire kit or any other kit, is how many uses can I get out of something. And unfortunately, fire is one of those things that you're not going to get too many uses out of a ferro rod other than just making fire, right? But fire has so many other uses, whether it be medicinally or mechanically to make tools, fire hardening things, and boiling water for use of consumption. You know, there's just so many things. Controlling core body temperature. You know, fire is so multi-use that carrying, you know, one trick pony like a ferro rod is okay in my mind. But just definitely wanted to show you guys my ideal when I pack up a fire kit for my extended trips into the woods. Alright, so I'll carry, I like to carry a rather bigger tin, not an Altoids tin. Plus this wouldn't fit an Altoids tin anyway. But the reason why I like to carry this is not exactly to boil water in, because that would just be maddening, boiling that small amount of water. But I could throw a whole cattail in this, and I could char a cattail, and I wouldn't have to worry about burying the cattail under the fire and charring it that way or things like that. I could just throw it right in here, throw that whole tin in the fire. And I'll take a couple strips of duct tape and I'll throw on the tin itself. And the reason why I do that is because I could take that duct tape off of there, and I got 3 sides that have duct tape on it, and you're hearing pieces of flint rattling around in the bottom right now. And I can shred that up real fine, and then I can get that to light just from a ferro rod. And so that's the reason why you see that on there. But other than that, I keep a couple pieces of just cloth material. This was an old bandana, and I'll actually wrap my my lens up in that so it doesn't get damaged. And then that can be charred at any time as well. I always keep chaga. I'm a chaga head, man. I use that stuff medicinally, and I use it for fire lighting. I have fatwood, 2 small sticks of fatwood in this fire kit, but in my belt pouch that I keep on my side, I keep 3 or 4 pretty hefty sticks in there as well, and that I can go a week with those fatwood sticks, just lighting fires just off of those. I always keep steel wool, but that is for cleaning. Plus, this can be lit from a flint and steel. It can be lit from a ferro rod. And, there's many uses that many ways, that this can be used for fire. Plus, like I said, it's a cleaning implement as well, from dishes to firearms, knives, anything like that. Small rust spots on knives usually is what I'll take off with steel wool. But other than that, I like to keep a nice hunk of flint, one that I can be able to use. I can sharpen this up with my nail, or sometimes even that if I'm really careful. And I can use this for skinning, if the occasion ever happened that I would lose my knife. But that I always keep those things really close to my body, so hopefully the day never happens that I would actually have to resort to this. But if I'm actually out practicing primitive skills, and I go out sometimes where I just bring a primitive kit, which is I'm out in the field, I'm making a bow drill kit, I'm using all primitive methods of camping and things like that, so I'll go with this, and that's what I use for skinning and things like that. But other than that, that's just my methods of creating fire in the woods. Alright guys, well, this is just a very short video about my methods of creating fire in the woods, and depending on what I'm going out to achieve, if I'm testing my skills and primitive skills, or if I'm just going out to have fun with my family, it depends on what I bring with me and what I'm going to use while I'm out there. This is William Myers from Mantis Outdoors. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click subscribe. Liking my video really helps me out a lot. I appreciate all your comments and support. Hopefully we'll see you out in the woods. Alright guys, well this is Mantis. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this really short video. And there's a helicopter, and I apologize for that as well. But let's wait till that goes. It's actually going right over our head. Hello. Another baby is born in the cat All right.